I wanted to talk about this outcry over Louisiana teacher being arrested. It was during a school board meeting. And what's interesting is in this story, you are not going to hear people screaming Blue Lives Matter. You're going to have people trying to have sympathy over this teacher when all of this could have been prevented if she had just complied, did not get aggressive, because she did get aggressive, and just followed the orders that were given to her. But it seems like people want to take her side and they don't want to be so Blue Lives Matter anymore. But it says here, a Louisiana teacher questioned whether the superintendent should receive a raise. Then she was ushered out of a school board meeting and handcuffed. The dramatic arrest on Monday, which was caught on video, has drawn outrage in the U.S. and beyond. It has nothing to do with any melanated person in the U.S. and beyond. This is for people with a lack of melanin in the U.S. and beyond. Vermilion Parish School Board officers were locked down on Tuesday after receiving threats. Board President Anthony Fontana told the Daily Advisor in Lafayette, Louisiana, the Vermilion Parish teacher Hargrave will not face charges. I have reviewed the video and I am not going to approve any charges against the teacher. I have talked with the attorney for the school board. They do not wish to pursue any charges against the teacher. Since it was posted on YouTube, the video has more than 1.7 million views. During a public comment period at the board meeting, Hargrave stood up and voiced opposition to superintendent receiving a raise. I have a serious issue with the superintendent or any person in a position of leadership getting any type of raise. It's absurd that we're even considering giving a raise when these teachers are working this hard and not getting a dime. The board voted to approve the raise from $110,000 to $140,000. What the hell are you doing as a superintendent to deserve that much money? I don't agree with the raise, but I think it's funny because now you have a situation where you have people who are getting excess money because anybody making over 100,000, they're living good. So they're trying to scrape every little dime, even taking money from anyone. They don't care. Greed is number one on the list right now. And people don't care about anybody. They don't even care about their mother. They will sell their own mother and grandmother down the river for $1. So now we're starting to see people who may have formed alliances so they could get a bigger piece of the pie. They don't give a damn about any alliance anymore. They're going to get every penny they can and suck everybody dry that they can. But reading on, at that point, Hargrave addressed the room again. How are you even going to take a raise? It's basically taking our money. See, this is a fight over money with these people. At that point, a security officer, later identified as a deputy marshal, paid by the school board. Now, let's remember, this person is paid by the school board. So whatever orders they are given, that is the order that they carry out. So the marshal approached Hargrave and asked her to leave the meeting. You're going to leave or I'm going to remove you. Take your things and go. At that point, she should have realized that these people are not going to listen to you. They're going to do whatever they want to do. And then she could have took this in a different direction. She could have put it out there to the state, to the city. She could have got a national spotlight on it if she felt this strongly about it, and or took any other avenue but she should have complied with what she was told. I mean, that's what we are told all the time. The reason why this happens to you is because you don't comply. Why don't you just do this? Watch your tone, speak nicely, and comply with what the officer is telling you to do. But she didn't, and I'm going to show the video to it as well. She asked whether it was against policy to stand as she spoke and pointed out that the board was directly addressing her. She then complied with the officer's request and walked out of the room. Seconds later, the video shows the security officer forcibly putting Hargrave in handcuffs as the other teachers voice outrage. Now, it didn't look like he forcibly threw her to the ground or did something to harm her. She wasn't hurt. And I didn't see her comply. That was the whole issue. Then it says, "What are you doing? Can you explain?" So if she's being forcibly handcuffed and thrown around, she's going to ask, "What are you doing? Can you explain?" Stop resisting. The officer complied. "I am not. You just pushed me to the floor." You're not going to be having that type of conversation, because if you really see something real, which I've seen, like the young girl who was in the classroom and that brute beast picked her up and threw her across the floor, she didn't get up and say, "What are you doing? And you just pushed me to the floor." No, that didn't happen. So it's a lie. She was resisting. She did not follow direction, and that's why he was getting her out of the meeting. Outside, the officer said he gave her many directives to leave and ushered her to the back of the police vehicle. She was booked into overnight jail. Shortly after the meeting, he called to inform police that the system did not want any charges pressed. The city appears to be distancing itself from the officer. The city's attorney emphasized in the statement that the officer is not acting in any official capacity on behalf of the city of Ablesville. So basically what they are trying to do is they are going to try and put this whole situation on the officer, when the officer was there for the entire meeting and people were talking. When she was talking, you could see the actual superintendent that was supposed to get the raise. He was mad at her, what she said. He turned bright red. And I believe that he informed the officer to have her escorted out. He told her to get her out of that room, and that is what he did, because they were paying him to be there, and if they needed someone out and they gave the word, that's exactly what he was supposed to do. But they're going to try and use it where they would have it fall on him. Because she was expelled from the meeting, saying it was unacceptable and raised serious constitutional concerns. Really, but the shooting of so many of these young boys and the killing of so many of these males, that didn't raise any type of constitutional concerns. But it said Fontaine defended the officer's behavior in a statement and said, "If a teacher has the authority to send a student who is acting up and can't control out of the classroom to the principal office, under our policy, we have the same rules." Fontaine said he added that the officer did exactly what he was hired to do. He followed the procedures completely. She's the one who made the choice that got her arrested. 2 board members have complained that the board did not treat women fairly. Now, and in my experience, that's all I hear is Blue Lives Matter and you need to comply. So I think you should comply when you are requested. As far as the superintendent getting a raise, this person does not deserve a raise, does not need a raise. And if people were outraged, they should have took different measures.
Some superintendents move out of vehicles. because some of them were absurd. People were charging us for a quarter of a mile and things like that. When that got changed, it rolled into the superintendent with Dan, if I remember correctly, that he got an allowance instead of a car. Anybody else in the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Deyshia Hargrave. I teach in the parish. I have a serious issue with a superintendent or any person in a position of leadership getting any type of raise. I feel like it's a slap in the face to all the teachers, cafeteria workers, and any other support staff we have. We work very hard with very little to maintain the salaries that we have. And as I've been teaching the last few years, I'm seeing class sizes grow enormously. So I just want to say, I don't care if the performance targets were met. You're making our job even more difficult, and we're jumping through hoops, and we're meeting those goals. We're meeting those goals. While someone in that position of leadership is getting a raise, it's a sad, sad day to be a teacher in Vermilion Parish. When we're supposed to be 4, 6, whatever number we are in the state, we're doing the work. The students are doing the work. At the top, that's not where kids learn. It's in the classrooms. And those teachers, like myself, are not getting a dime from that. And that is unspeakable. My second concern is that you're actually taking this vote with a man who just by chance knew so-and-so got elected. However that happened, the people didn't put him in. Now, if he wants to run and they want people put him in, then you do your contract and your raises or whatever you deem necessary. This decision shouldn't even be made tonight. And I feel like I'm speaking on behalf of more than just myself, more than just Kaplan teachers. I'm speaking as a group. Many teachers are scared to speak out with Act 1 and all the power Mr. Pio now has. And it's, again, I'm going to use the word absurd that we're even considering giving someone a raise when these teachers are working this hard and not getting a dime.
Anyone else? One more.
One more.
Okay, what was his last evaluation? I know somebody's been talking about the last time.
This is going back and forth, Ms. Shula. I'll say it again. If you have a comment, please make it. It's not question and answer. That's not what this process is.
It was not posted. It was not posted.
Yep. A call. Substitute motion. Make it clear again. Get it correct if I'm wrong. Your substitute motion is to approve 2-year contract that was sent to all the board members at the current salary of the superintendent. And Marty was second, right, Bill? All right, let's go with all the program.
Sorry,
No.
first go to Pro.
Just make sure everybody understands.
Yeah, that's,
You're voting to approve Kitty's contract. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody understands. A no vote is to disapprove. A yes vote is to approve. So, want to change the vote? All right, change the motion.
No. Jose Bear.
No.
Stacy Lander.
no.
Laura LaBeouf.
Yes.
J.B. Marino.
No.
Kitty Pilay. Yes. Mr. Montana.
No.
Fails.
Now the original thing is to approve the contract. We have a motion and a second.
I have something on the original. Laura, you mentioned the ACT. We didn't attach a number to the increase. What would you like to see?
Well, I need to see the data first before I would say what I would like to
So
see.
you don't have a number in mind. I think it'd be 19 or 18.5.
But no, we would increase it by whatever is to grow the number of students who achieve over 18. I don't know what our student-based number is to say what we're
Okay, I thought you had to do the research and you knew. I was going to maybe see if we could negotiate a higher number there.
All right, roll call. Again, this is on the original contract as sent to each of you. Yes vote is to approve, no vote is not to approve.
Did
Did y'all give a total for the package? Total
No.
package? No? So it's
Sarah
gonna be
Duplichat.
one more.
Chris Gotro.
Yes.
Chris Bear.
Yes.
Stacy Landry.
Yes.
Laura LaBeouf.
No.
JB Marino.
Before I answer, can I address the crowd? Is it possible, or should I?
Are we gonna comment on this one? Audience concerns? We never had audience concerns for the original vote.
We're in the middle of the vote.
Yes.
JB Pilot.
No.
Mr. Fontana.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do y'all need anybody here?
So this is not a democratic government then, right?
And
Right.
we did not have comments on the original.
No comment, unless you're recognized.
Here, okay. Whose fault is that?
All right, so there's audience concerns for superintendent. Yes, ma'am.
Superintendent, how are you going to take a raise when there's ELA? When I first started teaching ELA, there was like 20, 21 kids in a class, and now there's 29 kids in a class that we are now having, and we have not gotten raises. How are you going to take that money? Because it's basically taking out of the pockets of teachers.
Stop right now. That's not germane to what's on the agenda tonight.
Yes, it is.
Come on now.
How are you going to
What's
take?
on the agenda is the superintendent's contract.
With
So
a raise.
with a
raise.
Well, that's not talking about the raise. It's all
I am. I'm saying, how are you taking the raise
That's almost
when
a
you're
shame.
basically taking from the teachers and employees under you, when we have class sizes that are that big? This directly speaks to what you have just voted on.
Ms. Hargrave, a year ago, I presented to this board. Okay.
I do not have to say.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.
Anybody else?
Excuse me, officer. Can I not stand when I'm being spoken to?
Anybody?
Is there a
You're gonna leave, I'm gonna remove you.
Take your things and
Are
go.
you serious? I hope somebody has this on
I
video.
mean, really.
Excuse me.
All right, vote in
Is
the
it
contract.
against policy to
I would
say
like to say something.
do not?
Hold on.
Take your things and go.
This is the most disgraceful and distasteful thing.
I want another comment.
A comment.
She wasn't talking to you, she was talking to.
It was
I
comments
don't
for
know.
the superintendent.
I don't want the audience to comment without getting that.
She was recognized.
She was recognized.
By you.
And
He was speaking to me directly.
And he would respond to her,
That's exactly right.
but you run everything.
All right,
Only the superintendent can't even look at her when she's talking.
Okay,
Probably
so,
that's why.
This is pretty sad.
However you want to do it.
This is pretty sad. Our children.
My name is Deyshia Hargrave.
Wait a minute, I asked for it, we'll hold them a comment to recognize Sarah.
just put her in handcuffs. Apologize to the public.
You did not.
What is putting her in handcuffs right now?
Let's
go see
Board, we'll hold them a comment to recognize Sarah.
Just put her in handcuffs. Apologize to the public.
You did not.
What is putting her in handcuffs right now?
Let's go see Yeah, this on video. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't. Can you explain?
Stop resisting.
I am not. You just pushed me to the floor. Sir, hold on. I am way smaller than you.
Really sad.
Go see. Yeah, you need to get this, Chris. Let's go. You need to get this.
Yes.
Where's your phone?
Hang tight, Deyshia.
What's her name? Deyshia Hargrave.
I know you're not gonna arrest her in this crowd. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's our children we're standing for.
Oh my God! I do very much
understand, all right.
You are being arrested for,
For standing in a hallway,
I gave you many lawful orders to leave.
and that's exactly what I was
You
doing.
did not. You did not.
It's on the floor when I
I
was
have
pushed
it.
down on the
No,
ground.
I picked it up when she was on the floor, I picked it up.
If you're gonna do it, do it. I was walking out of the hallway, asking you a question. You don't need backup. I'm 5 feet tall. Put me in the car. If you're gonna put me in the car.
Is this city?
I don't know. He won't answer a question. You can't ask questions.
So you're taking it right here?
Call Mike McGill.
I'm calling Mike.
Somebody else about to get arrested.
For what?
Public intimidation. I don't work with Michael Young.
Oh, but you answer my question now, but you wouldn't answer my question when I was in the hall? Do you feel safer, officer, that I had handcuffs on? What did you think was gonna happen?
I gave you many directives to me.
I was walking and asking you a question.
You need to calm down. You need to calm down.
So that was the video showing what happened, everything that went down. And what it looks like to me is this person was hired to do this job. They basically told him to do that, and that's what he did. That was what he was getting paid for. And here where there was a statement given said that he did exactly what he was hired to do. Now, the thing about this is the people don't like this because they basically were strong-armed. The teachers don't like it because they were strong-armed. This is some of the things that people like us in our neighborhood talk about that goes on. Now you have people starting to feel this knocking at their front door. It's right at their front door and they don't like it. It was okay when it was happening to other people, but now that it's happening to them in their neighborhoods, they don't like it at all. This is what happens when you allow unfair treatment and greed and racism and all of that. When you let that permeate, that nastiness, it's going to show up at your front door. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this entire situation, and I will see you in the next one.